we are kicking off Women's History Month with Say Yes to You with receiving. Okay, I've always thought of myself as an independent woman sitting here with a bunch of them, the kind who could open doors for herself. A while back, I decided that maybe that wasn't serving me all that well. So this morning, I've discovered that I'm not alone, and this morning we're going to talk with our panel about how doing it all is working for you and how to change that if it's not working. Good morning.
Good morning.
So good to have you all here. So it's funny, I was talking to Greg over there in the corner, and he said, oh, I teach my daughter to let a guy open the door for her. But when I was growing up, during the whole women's lib thing and all that, it was like, I can open the door for myself. I don't need you to do that for me. So where are y'all on this?
Well, there's a difference between need and want.
Okay.
That's a good point. But I'm all for having someone open the door for me. But I can remember a time when I just didn't do it.
Jada?
Same for me. You know, I always thought that it showed a little bit of weakness. I'm like, I am the independent woman. I'll do it myself. But as you grow, you get older, you mature. Now I'm, you know, one of those that kind of sits back and waits to see if somebody's going to do it.
Well, and I think the pendulum also swings some. I think we went one direction and now the other. Okay, this isn't just about door opening, obviously. It's about, as a woman, allowing other people to do things for you and receiving. So Jada, you got a little story about how a lot of this I can do it all comes about.
Absolutely. In mine, specifically, I knew where it came from, and it was growing up in a domestic violent home. And so I remember my mom saying, you know, you make sure that you're a strong woman, you make sure you can do everything, you don't need a man, you make sure that you are good no matter what. And I kind of carried that throughout life, and to my detriment to some degree. And so now I really believe that it's important for women to recognize that, you know, ask yourself, are you doing what you're doing because you are in survival mode?
Ooh,
because survival mode is not a healthy space to live in.
Okay, so I'm going to ask each of you. I mean, I've found that doing it all has hurt me in a couple of areas. I did too much as a parent for my son, and I should have given him the opportunity to do things for himself. And also in a relationship, when you do it all or whatever, you end up kind of in the sort of being friends. You reduce the polarity because you don't have that feminine masculine dynamic. Okay, so there I've bared it all. What about you two? Go ahead.
Well, for me, there's a difference. I sort of define it as professional versus personal. In my professional life, I want complete equality. I want to walk into any room, I want to be paid the same as a man, because up here we are equal. There is no masculine, feminine when it comes to intellect. In my personal life, I am very much a lady and I want to be treated as one. I love it when my husband tells me I look pretty. I love it that he opens my door, that he walks on the outside of the curb when we are walking down the street. I love that he treats me like a woman.
Okay, girl, you got to figure it out. Professional, personal.
And I do love that how you divided it. You
and
know,
I think that's smart.
It is. You know, I found myself trying to prove my independence to men, because I always was afraid that if I was not proving my independence, that he may take my kindness for weakness. But you know, I go to therapy.
I'm sliding over here next to Jane. Jane and I have a lot in common.
We do. Okay, so, but what my therapist told me one day was, a person that's going to take advantage of you is going to take advantage of you regardless, because that's who they are. So stop changing who you are to not allow them to be who they truly are. And that's what I had to finally, so now I'm coming to grips with that thing of, okay, let me go ahead and be a feminine woman and allow somebody that is kind enough, you know, to do those things for me, and it's okay.
And guess what happens when you insist on doing it all? You attract the kind of people around you who want you to do it all.
Oh my gosh, that is so true.
Exactly. And the reason why is because we teach people how to treat us, right? And oftentimes when we're constantly doing, we do a few things. Number one, we enable people to continue poor behavior. That's one. And another thing is we get walked all over.
Okay, now, Jada, I'm going to ask you, because you're a therapist. There are a lot of women sitting out there who are saying, oh, that's great that y'all are sitting up there saying that. But how do you take steps to start letting people do things for you when it really goes against your nature?
The first thing is ask yourself, what do you want? Do you want to be true and authentic and genuine and really stay true to self? Because that's a challenge. It's your authentic self. It's not your perceived self. You want to be your real self.
And I think what you're saying is that we all have in us a desire to have a relationship, and I'm not talking male-female necessarily now, but interpersonal, where you do something for someone, they do something for you.
And it's reciprocal.
Most of us don't want to do it all.
Okay, but how do you push past that fear?
The fear is hard. And so, Jade, the reality is when we're talking about opening ourselves up to someone, I believe it's our responsibility to be wise and ask the right questions. But we can't know what we want until we know ourselves. And most of us don't know ourselves because we're constantly trying to be something that we're not. And I'm going through that same challenge.
What were you going to say, Cynthia?
Well, if you think about it, one of the love languages is acts of kindness. And so I don't see it as a weakness because my husband or another man wants to do something kind for me. That's them showing me respect, them showing me appreciation. So I think it's just that little shift in perception can make a huge difference.
So, and a little tip that I've actually used is like just start doing little things. Like, for instance, at the grocery store, if somebody says, "Can I, take that out for you?" Let them.
Oh, that is so true.
And just see how that feels, and kind of get used to the feeling of somebody else doing something.
It's so funny because I would normally say, "No, it's okay.
No, it's okay.
Yeah.
I'll get it.
I got it.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to start doing that.
All right.
Saying yes.
Thank y'all for being here today.
Love it.
Really appreciate it. Say yes to you. Start letting somebody else do something for you instead of trying to do it all, right?
Absolutely.